That was James Gannon speaking to us just a couple of minutes ago. I'm delighted to say joining me live in the press box now is Danny Lloyd, the goal hero from today. Tell us about the free kick. I thought for a minute John Marsden was going to steal that one off you.
No, when we were awarded the free kick, we both said we'd have a look at it. And I just think as he's put the ball down and the keeper's been setting the wall up, it just favoured me to go over the outside of the outside.
Because he seemed to move to that far post, and he went over to the left post and left it quite a gap.
I didn't
Still got to hit it though.
I didn't see him take the step, but Marzo said he stepped the other way, which helped me. Obviously, but I think even if he would have guessed me going that way, I hit it well enough. It went at a decent pace. It wasn't like it was a floaty one. So just happy it went in, to be honest, and happy we got the win. You had
particularly the first half, a string of chances. I think you hit the crossbar from a corner. You went for goal there after 7 minutes.
No, as I said, we always functional in training. We work on our set plays, and we have an in-swing and corner, and I hit it too well. Sometimes you just hit the ball too well, and I've given it a little bit too much. But again, it nearly went in. If it would have went in, it would have been great. But it was just I hit it too well. So yeah.
Second half, Johnny Marsden could have played you in, but he didn't.
No, it's one of those things we all make. Not everybody makes the right decision every time. He thought that he was best to go and get a shot off. At the end of the day, he got a shot off. It got blocked. It's one of those things. We pick ourselves up and we move on.
Should you have scored more as a team today? 1-0 in the end looks like a tight result, but you were very dominant today.
Yeah, we created the most chances, I think, today than we have done all season. I think things did click today. But yeah, I think it should have been maybe 3 or 4 for me today. I think, credit to them, they got some decent blocks in here and there. But I do think, it should have been 3 or 4. I probably should have scored, as I said to you before. I just think the pitch would have been a little bit more zippy in the first half. It might have skipped through and favoured me onto my left foot rather than having to drag it back with me right first. But, the result was the most important thing today. I think the gaffer said it in his last interview. We had a couple of indifferent performances which overshadowed the great start of the season. So I think just getting the 3 points today and then building to go into the game against Altrincham was the most important thing today.
I know you're talking there about team performance, but from your own perspective, you and I spoke in the summer and you promised goals. You said, I come with goals, I'm going to score goals. And a bold statement, an ambitious statement, but you've got 3 and 7 now. You're living up to your billing, aren't you?
If you want to put it that way, I'm a little bit disappointed that I'm not on 5 or 6, but that's just sometimes the way it goes. As I said, I know if I play the majority of the games I'll score goals. It's not something that I'm not confident in. I can score loads of types of goals. It's not just like I'm reserved to free kicks or I'm reserved to spillages. I can score goals from all over the place, and that's one thing that I'm confident in, playing from the wing as well. But I think there's goals in our team. Marzo, the big K, Josh, and even the likes of Lewis and Gaz coming from deep in midfield. And you've seen Courtney rifle one and he's got a strike on him as well. So I think the one thing that we're not going to be short of today throughout the season is goals, and hopefully I pitch in with a very, very decent amount.
One thing that has been noticeable, you're not completing 90 minutes that often. Has the manager said anything to you about that? Is it to do with change of tactic? What's been said about that you're not playing 90?
No, nothing's been said to me about it. I think it was tactically a decent move by the gaffer bringing me off early on Saturday. Because obviously today I was very fresh. I was ready to go, and I've just scored the goal. That's won us the game. So I said it's not my decision. I'll play when I'm told to play, where I'm told to play by the gaffer.
So no moaning, no complaints. You get on with it.
Listen, I want to play every minute of every game, but that's just the way I am. I'd be out on my feet and still run around. Do you know what I mean? It's not like when I come off, if my number goes up, I walk off, and that's just the way it is.
I said in commentary today, it's a long time since we've seen a player like you at Edgley Park, because one thing you do, you get in behind and you really stretch defences, and that is part of your game, isn't it? Not just goal scoring, but providing as well.
Yeah, I think especially playing with 2 big lads up front like Kay and Josh. there will be change off them, so you know my opportunities will come in behind. So there's no point for me not to go in there. Gaffer had words with me the one time I didn't go in there because the ball went there, but I just dropped in front just to try and get a little bit of change in front, but that's not my job. It was a lapse in concentration, and that's where I should be in behind, stretching the back four, because then it allows us to pick up seconds in the midfield, and then that's how we can build attacks, and that's the way the gaffer wants to play. So yeah, you know, me getting in behind and then not only off the change but then running at players and pulling players out of position, that's a very, very critical part of my game as well, and hopefully it's something I can build on and get better at. You know what I mean? The gaffer works on things individual to specific units of the team. Specific players get told where they need to be, what they need to do and how they need to do it, and hopefully, you know, with the training that the gaffer puts on, I'm really enjoying it. So hopefully, you know, in this season at County I can grow as a player and get better at the things that I'm already okay at.
Well, you got a huge ovation when you came off today, and I know man of the match is great, but that recognition from the fans, I know you really appreciate that, don't you?
As I said, that, you know, the last 3 or 4 clubs I've been in, I've always had a decent relationship with the fans, and that's something I think it costs me nothing to have a relationship with the fans, but I'll gain everything from it. Do you know what I mean? You know, just as I said, we were talking before, little things, just like, you know, social media, liking people's tweets on social media. It's nothing for me to do that, and I'll always have time for anybody coming up to me and wanting a picture or want me to sign something. It's nothing out of my day to do that, but if that's what they want, then I'm happy to give it to them off the pitch as well, and hopefully on the pitch I give them, you know, something to shout about and something to get on the edge of the seat about with their performances and goals and crosses and making the team be on the front foot as much as possible.
Tell us, one thing that I've spotted, Danny, before games is your pre-match routine that you go through and you look up to the skies. Tell us a little bit about what you got, what's going through your mind then. What are you doing there?
I just like to zone myself in, but just obviously before the kick-off, I always just sort of look up and just ask my brother to look after me and make sure I had a good game. I lost my brother when I was a little bit younger, my older brother, so I always just ask him to make sure I have a decent game. Doesn't always work.
No.
But you know, most of the time he looks after me and makes sure I get through the game safe.
Well, he looked after you properly today, and just finally, you've been involved in winning teams now for 3 or 4 seasons, playoff sides. With your experience looking at County at the moment, is this a side that can be up there at the end of this season?
I think it is. I think we've got the credentials and the lads to do it. It is just about all that gelling together now and making things click. As you've seen today, we were very fluid today, and you probably see that in the highlights. You know, we created things clicked up front, things clicked at the back. You know, we kept them with a clean sheet. And you know, they did have some threatening situations, and I thought the lads at the back dealt with it very well. But I think this is a team that, once we do click together more consistently, and once the gaffer inputs his methodologies in the team, it's only going to go one way for me. As I said, that, you know, the last few years I've been involved in a file team that I've done very well in there. Again, you know, they've started, like I'd say, this year. But I do think if we can just keep pulling and piecing results together, I think we will be up there in and around the playoffs this year.
Danny, I love talking to you. Top man, thank you so much for joining us today.